All right, to round out today, after the long, lengthy, the left is violent, changed my mind earlier, we're going to finish with a much shorter segment from the Patrick Bet David podcast. Do you believe Kash Patel? FBI reveals major evidence connection in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Let's get
Kash
started.
Patel just came out with a story announcing that they found the DNA, that the towel matches the firearm and the screwdriver both match Tyler Robinson. This is just a few minutes ago, Rob, if you want to go ahead and play this clip.
Flexed all resources the FBI had and surged multiple air assets as soon as this shooting occurred. We were cycling in agents, evidence response technicians, hostage rescue technicians, and special operators in and out of Utah, cycling evidence back and forth on these FBI planes as soon as we could so that there was no delay. And what we did, once I got there, along with the deputy on the ground around 5 p.m. local on September 11th, was walk the entire crime scene, including the foots the suspect himself took. And what we learned was there was evidence, DNA evidence, that could be collected and had been collected, including a screwdriver that was found on the rooftop. Also, we went over to the scene in the wooded area where the firearm was discarded, and the firearm had a towel wrapped around it. It's important. I'll get back to that later. I even walked into the wooded area in the ravine, so I knew from my investigative experience what I could bring to the table and what decisions I needed to make. And having the support of President Trump and the full support of the White House was what we needed for these resources to happen. And I can report today that the DNA hits from the towel that was wrapped around the firearm and the DNA on the screwdriver are positively processed for the suspect in custody.
There you go. So now that's what we're being told.
Yeah, which means that we have very good data collections, and then even I would say, semi-confession to the roommate, because like anyone says, text could be fabricated, it could be all a ploy and everything, but I'm more willing to believe that with the text, with the DNA evidence, the weapon itself, and the actions taken by the shooter so far, since, that he's the one, he is guilty without a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
Tom, when you see that, we learned this. What do you think about when you see this story that Kash has said this?
Kash is really selling it pretty hard.
Are you buying it?
I'm only about 50-50, and I'll tell you why. I believe my own eyes, and many people besides me, and I'm not talking about tin hat conspiracy theorists, are saying, does that look like a rifle 44 inches long being wrapped in a towel, or does that look like a jacket or a piece of clothing or something? Does that look, where's the rifle?
There is no way in that blurry footage to tell what he did with it. I don't even know if maybe he discarded it off the part of a building, a side of the building or something, ran around. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but all it is everything around it tracks. He's admitted that, I put my firearm in an area that's now locked down. I can't get back to it. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. I did it because some hate can't be negotiated out, was his words to his roommate, when the roommate's like, why? Because at this point, it's like, I'm very worried about the safety of the roommate who might not have had anything to do with this at all. I'm 50-50 on that part, with the roommate being uninvolved or involved. And, with the text exchange, some of it does feel a little Walter White calling Skylar, it was all me. You were not involved at all. You are an innocent party. I am the danger kind of thing. It's like the roommate's there with everything. As you're looking at it, you're going, okay, what makes sense? And then, you get to the safety of what could be for the roommate. It's like, what if the roommate's attacked in revenge by someone who's like, you killed my role model, your roommate murdered my role model, and now I'm gonna go come after you. It's like, I hope that doesn't happen. That would be terrible, even regardless of what the roommate, what Tyler Robinson did. What his roommate didn't do or did do, I don't know. That will be a lot harder to prove. So let's continue on with this and see what else they say.
And this person jumping off the top of the building. What's going on with that? And then when he's walking like a peg leg through the community, the neighborhood, they said, oh, he shoved the rifle down the leg of his pants and he was having to walk that way. Okay, well, maybe I buy that, but I'm just shocked. And the other thing is, Kash Patel is patting all the FBI people on the back, but you had nothing. You had the wrong two suspects, one that you quickly dismissed, the other one you questioned and dismissed, and you by your own...
And even funnier about the first guy, they had the old guy when they questioned him and dismissed him, and then all of a sudden they had to go back around and rearrest him because he's a pedophile. And it's like, oh, he had child porn on his device there. It's like, okay, you somehow missed that? That is definitely a little scar on this administration's FBI, and it's one of the couple of them that I'm just like, Epstein files. The handling of some things surrounding the case, I don't know if the case itself yet has been handled poorly or mismanaged, but we'll see.
Admission had no leads until the father that had been talking to a pastor worried about his son, and now we're hearing the leaks coming out from other family members and friends. This over the past year, he was a little different. Tyler was a little different. Tyler was getting a little dark, spent a lot of time on video games, and we see the Discord messages. All of those things, Pat, are lining up to show that this guy got kind of radicalized, and his dad apparently had been talking to a pastor. There's little comments that have leaked out that says, you know, what do I do here? And the dad and the pastor convinced him to turn himself in. That's not an FBI lead. That's a dad saying, I am not going to, if this is what's happened, I am not going to stand in the way here. I got to do the right thing with my son.
Yeah, 100%. The father is a big portion of the investigation, to where it's the father who convinced his son that you did a fucked up thing and need to turn yourself in, turn yourself over, because otherwise the manhunt for you is going to grow and grow and grow. And that's probably something along the lines of, if you don't do it now, it's only a matter of time before either dad loses his son in some kind of shootout with the FBI or police or something, or, you know, he's found culpable, you know, he's put in bars beside his son for, you know, culpability and knowing what his son did. It's what all those just like, okay, continue on and on and on and on about everything around it. And yeah, my biggest part is the fact that the father did not take the reward money, because he's like, I don't feel right doing this. It's what my son did was wrong, because the dad was knowingly a conservative Republican. He was on that side of things. He had said his son was, you know, leaning further away into politics, away from him, was, you know, a little bit less connected, more isolated overall.
Son. And so I'm only about 50-50 on this official FBI story, and I'm a little worried about, it doesn't look like a gun being carried off the roof.
Yeah, and apparently this kid, Tyler Robinson, is not cooperating.
The other thing, though, is like, if he's not the one who shot him, where did the bullet come from that entered his body from the front, from that direction, and that angle? Everything else, if you recreate the scene, because there's plenty of footage that it's like there's only one way that could have happened, and that is from Tyler Robinson's rooftop, where a firearm existed, and then said firearm was discovered in the woods. Then that matches up with the bullet wound. And to the people who are like, well, Charlie didn't even get an autopsy, I don't think bullet to the neck is a very, you know, oh, look, he got shot. Yeah. That was very obvious. He got shot in the neck, and that was how he died. We all knew, we all saw it. There was zero chance to live that. He could have been shot in the emergency room, and he still would have not had a chance to survive. He was dead on impact. Charlie didn't even know he was shot.
Operating with authorities whatsoever. No. I know you showed an image of the Utah governor, Spencer Cox, I believe his name, who basically said, this is a watershed moment in American history. We just don't know if this is the end or beginning of a very dark chapter. I guess Tuesday is going to be the day that formal charges are going to be brought forward against this kid.
Yeah.
But they have said that he lived with his
furry or whatever,
dated,
transgender.
and of course, is anybody shocked that the word trans magically popped up?
No.
That this was his roommate?
No.
Is
I'm not surprised because it was literally predicted before they even arrested anyone that it was some trans person who hated Charlie's voice, the words he choose to say and everything. It's like, I would 100% agree that was an easy one. That was the prediction. We were just wrong on the fact that it wasn't Tyler who was the transferring person or the trans person, that it was his roommate. We were pretty damn close. So I think credit where credit is due.
anybody shocked?
No,
in that
no,
capacity?
not at all. I mean, how many times in the past year we talked about these people? If that's it, and like again, Pat, I'm gonna go with Tom. Where's the rifle? Where's the long rifle that's it's not collapsible, meaning it doesn't fold. He looks like
Which
he
is called the
jumped-
break barrel,
it's
right?
a break barrel. He snapped his leg.
He did have some kind of thing up his back. He may have shoved it down the back of his shirt. I'm not sure. It's very hard to tell with how blurry that security footage is.
sprained his ankle or something. It's just unanswered questions. And you know what nobody else was talking about? I think we did for a little bit. George Zinn, the old white guy, bald, with glasses. He's there. They grab him like a diversion, okay?
Well, it's also not the first time that old guy has done that. He's done it at a couple other things where some events have gone down and he's tried to claim, oh, it was me who did that. I did that. And it's like, did you really? Because all the evidence points to no.
And he's screaming, kill me, kill me. And subsequently, and this is allegedly, but I think
And he's also very not right in the head.
I fact check it, Rob. If you could fact check me on ChatGPT, he was an eyewitness to 9/11, which is weird. This guy, the old guy, and then he was arrested for threatening to bomb the Salt Lake City Marathon finish line in 2013. This is George Zinn.
Yeah, so this guy is trying to take the defense, I would say, of a guy who is obviously crazy, obviously not right in the head, got some level of mental illness, and he's like, oh yeah, what's up with this guy? And it's like, he's mentally ill. That's what's up with him.
And then there's so many different things, and I get it. Remember the old guy that was
No.
screaming?
I just want to emphasize what you're saying right now. And believe me, I'm always the last person to be like, okay, buddy.
That's the odds of that are in the billions.
They said that's like 0.00007% likelihood that this guy was there for 9/11.
Yeah.
He was
Great
there
point.
for Charlie Kirk's murder.
Yep.
And there was a third component. He was there for some.
He was. I think he was arrested for terrorism. Allegedly.
Listen, if there's anybody that
Rob,
doesn't
you
go
have a
down the
clip on
rabbit
that.
hole, it's me. This
have-
guy's got some explaining to do.
This is the guy that was drug out and he was yelling, "Why don't you shoot me? Why don't you shoot me?" I can find that clip and play it. But this
Yeah,
is
why
the
is he
9/11
there?
remembrance
Look, the odds
video.
that
And
somebody
question and
was
release.
at 9/11 as well.
he said he witnessed 9/11.
Okay,
does that
so
mean?
if you look,
Is there any evidence, though, that he actually did witness 9/11? I want the evidence there. I've never seen any shred of it that he witnessed 9/11. I do believe that he was arrested for saying he was going to do the, what was it, the other bombing at a marathon. And, yeah, I do believe that because it looks like there was, a police report and evidence arrest for that. But there is no evidence that says he was witness to 9/11. This could just be the number two thing. It's like, yeah, that's a little less likely to be with, the marathon bombing and then witness Charlie Kirk, but that's not out of the ordinary, especially if you disagreed with Kirk and you were very much like, I want to go argue with this guy. I want to see him taken down and argued with all over. Of course you'd be there. You'd be following him around everywhere he went if you were trying to do anything like that. Like, come on. Like, we have Dean Withers and the other kid that followed Charlie around to debate him all the time, Parker. Parker was there when Charlie was killed. He was off to the side in a crowd getting ready to go up and debate him shortly. But then all of a sudden, gunshot rang out and Parker would he's like, I don't want to be shot. He booked it and ran, and he's like, I don't know, I think Charlie was shot, but I couldn't get a good look. I was running, and he was so afraid for, like, I'm so sad that if this is the last of him, like, please. And then, his audience was upset because he showed emotion for seeing someone die. Like, that right there should tell you everything you need to know about one party and which party is the bad one.
Yeah.
Let me see it, Rob. Is he going to say anything? Or?
Yeah, this guy, was he actually there for 9/11? Does he have any photos? Does he have any evidence that he was there? Or does he just have a story? And yeah, right here, he was arrested and found with child porn on his phone. Like, it was downloaded to his device. You got a real problem if you're actually downloading it to your device and not just finding somewhere to browse it. Like, come on. You have a real issue.
Is it just...
Yeah.
That night. And so it was a huge event for us. I even remembered everything that happened. We opened the stadium on September 10th, 2001. And so, I was, we won the Giants, which was good. I remember that was when Ed McCaffrey actually got hurt that night on a season-ending injury. And
I think he's talking about the Yankees.
So far, everything you said could just simply have been looked up. No evidence.
Football.
Nothing proof.
Giants.
Giants.
On September 11th, early that morning, and go back to Salt Lake City. And they said, come down, look in the lobby. Something's happening here. They said there's a plane that's headed towards one of the towers in New York City.
So he was there, and he was the guy that's coming out saying...
He has no evidence, though. He's just claiming he was there. I can claim that I saw an alien this morning, but if I have no evidence, are you going to believe me? No. Because you have no reason to believe that would be a true statement. I have no reason to believe from this guy that anything he says is true, especially after he was seen over there at Charlie Kirk's his murder, his assassination in Utah, where he's claiming, I did it, when he didn't do it. So he's lied at least once there. So the video over there is like, how can we believe it? Is this a story that you personally witnessed, or is this something someone told you? Because I'm very much on he probably got told this, and he's making this part up.
Shoot me.
Correct.
Allegedly,
when there's smoke, there's fire. Why is this guy around all these horrible
somebody
moments?
did the breakdown, Pat, and this is allegedly 1 in 2 billion that this guy was at Charlie's assassination, 9/11, and then Rob, I guess he was arrested.
There was a third one, yeah.
Yeah, he was arrested for something around terrorism.
This guy right here.
Yeah,
Pat, when you're a leader, and at times when you have crisis in a company or something happens, you have to come to the microphone and you got to cover what's going on. Sometimes it's layoffs, sometimes it's good news, right? When you hear Kash in that, do you hear him kind of overselling these points, or do you just hear a leader saying, "I'm proud of my team, is what we did"?
Yeah, I mean, this here, I have President Trump on Saturday praising Kash Patel for the remarkable speed in the bureau's identified, captured Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robertson, 22 years old, which was nabbed in hometown of Washington, Utah, just 33 hours after he was allegedly shot Kirk from a rooftop.
He wasn't nabbed. He turned himself in.
On the campus of Utah Valley University. So Trump's giving him credit. Kash is coming up here. His job is to show urgency with the fact that they caught somebody, to lower the temperature. Tom, their number one job right now as an administration is to lower the temperature. Number one. One thing goes wrong, it's over. By the way, you know how when you see these fires in California that happen, and it takes them weeks to try to stop the fires? And what happens? Imagine we are living at a time we have the most advanced technology ever. We have the most advanced tools ever. The fires are being done a mile away, 200 yards away from an ocean, and you can't stop the fire? If you thought for a second the wildfires in California were tough to stop, wait till you see what happens if something happens on the opposing side. This will be wildfires on steroids. Trust me. All they want to do right now is to show to the American people that they're under control and they got everything figured out. That is all they're trying to do. That is their number one job, to go out there and try to control this part. But what story were we just talking about, Tom, before you brought up Kash Patel?
George Zinn?
I feel like George Zinn. So I pulled up right now. I said, can you tell me the history about George Zinn? Rob, if you can go on ChatGPT and just ask, what do we know about George Zinn, the guy who kept screaming, shoot me at Charlie Kirk's event? 71 years old, from Utah. He's been known as Gadfly, is what many refer him to. His background and behavior history, long history of disruptions. He'd been arrested multiple times for actions at public events dating back decades, these including trespassing, protesting, and causing disruptions. 2013
So it really just sounds like this old guy is trying to go around, trying to cause disruptions everywhere he goes. He's, in my brain, in every evidence we've been given, to me, he's probably one of them paid protester guys who's getting paid to go out to these events. And the money is being funded by, in some examples, we've found evidence that it came from USAID funding. So literally, us taxpayers are literally paying this guy and others like him to protest against the current administration, which is stupid, absolutely dumb. Why are we doing that? That shouldn't be a thing that's just allowed to continue happening all the time. And this old dude also sounds like he might have some mental problems. I mean, he's literally saying kill me, so I wouldn't put it past it that to say probably. I'm just gonna go out and say this dude has mental issues, because no one in their right mind just says, kill me, I want to die after seeing someone else die. It's like, no, you want to put your head down and be quiet, because unless you're the person who shot him, you don't deserve anything except to go home and be loved by your family.
Bomb threat. In that year, he made a bomb threat targeting Salt Lake City Marathon, which resulted in a year in prison.
Salt Lake City.
Mental health concerns. Legal officials have described him as odd and have recommended mental health evaluations in the past, though he has largely resisted or ignored them.
Right there. He's resisted and ignored, refused any mental health help, anything along the way. He denies having any issues. He's like, I don't need it, even though from the outside looking in the hour or so of research I've done on the guy, he's not in his right mind at all. And anybody who knows him more than 1 hour worth of time should know he's crazy. He's a maniac who does not belong in society with the rest of us without severe mental help.
Local familiarity. Many in Utah recognize him immediately after Charlie Kirk shooting. He's known for showing up at nearly every kind of political gatherings. That's what this guy's known for. So I don't know if he's a disruptor or if he's anything or not. Here's all I will tell you.
What he does.
You know,
this dude just shows up and causes problems. That's all he's here for. That's all he's good for. And he saw an opportunity with Charlie Kirk.
I'm by the way, when I said who's the guy in the back,
and I don't mean he saw an opportunity and then showed up. It happened and then he saw his opportunity, is what I'm saying.
Who is this and who is that guy? People started messaging me. That's a friend. That's a pastor. That's the same guy that was protecting the president. I've been on calls with a bunch of people that are trying to give me the insight from the back on Intel, calling me, Pat, we want to kind of give you a little bit more insight on what's going on. I got a call right after this podcast to talk to a few different people to see what's going on. I trust that they're moving quickly to get answers to these questions. But one guy connects me and he says, why is it that if you got people on rooftops and you got a guy like Kirk, who is a top 3 person who helped Trump get elected, say you put Musk on that list, you put him on that list, you put RFK, say, on that list, because that was a big tipping point when RFK came on this side and came out in Arizona at Charlie Kirk's event, by the way.
Yes.
Just so you guys know,
Yes.
at Charlie Kirk's event. So when you see these things and you're not doing a sweep of, you mean to tell me, find the highest ground to go to the rooftop and just look what is anybody there? Is anybody there? Like, you can't hire 5 people to be at a rooftop to look.
That might have happened before the event started. No one has said if it was or not, but at this point, yes, there was a failure in Charlie's security team, and that failure cost him his life. such a sad event. It didn't have to happen that way. None of this should have happened. Yeah, I do fully agree with Patrick here, where it's like, yeah, someone should have gone up and been observing the whole area from a tall roof. But like, Charlie's not president, vice president, member of the cabinet. He's not a senator. He doesn't get any level of Secret Service protection or anything like that. He was just a dude who wanted to have conversations. Yes, he had a security team. It's not like they were Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA, or anything. They were just there. Some guys, a trusting team Charlie had that he hired.
Get the other. I mean, so for us, for example, we're at the Vol Conference. I don't want to publicly show this video, but if you guys want to see this video, go to Circle. I'll put it on the PBD Podcast Circle. When all of a sudden we're in the middle of the event, Vinny, you just sent this to me. Vinny recorded this thing. So we're at the event, and when this event happens, security comes and says, you can't go up on stage. I said, I'm going on stage. So what's your alternative? Well, if you're going to go on stage, we have to bring sheriff, M16, and all. I said, do whatever you got to do. I'm going on stage. Instantly, security alert went up. My kids are walking in the back when we're like, why is it taking so long for us? I just want to go to the bathroom. Totally get it. They got to sweep the perimeter. So they're going out there. They're looking at everything. You saw this right in front of us.
Ridiculous.
I'm in the back.
And that happens because, well, security is necessary and a big thing in today's modern era where anyone could just have a small little firearm hidden in their pants and, just sitting behind their waistband or something where they're ready to just pull it out, bam, and then all of a sudden you're shot. Oh no, or you're dead. Even worse.
Bathroom with 4 guys around the bathroom with M16s that are, looking around, and then you got these.
As far as bathroom goes, though, that's slightly overkill. I say you have one of your security guys, they go in, they sweep the bathroom, they make sure it's clear. If anyone's in there, then maybe a guard waits for that person to leave before you go in, but it's like clearing a bathroom or a room where there's only one entrance, one exit, then it's the same door. Then yeah, that's pretty easy to clear.
Security that are former Delta guys, SEALs, all these guys that are there, Green Beret. It just takes me back. The glass is one. It's a must. The bulletproof glass.
Oh God,
it's a must to have that. I'm for, because guess what? So you know what people are looking at right now? How many more mentally ill George Zins or crazies like Tyler Robinsons are out there right now? How many?
Unfortunately,
You only
way
need
too
one.
many.
No, but it's way more than one today, Tom.
Right, but at any particular
You're right.
moment.
Way too
But what
many.
I'm saying to you is the following. Here's what I'm saying to you. Tyler is permanently going to be in the history books. His name is cemented in the history books.
Forever.
Which is a sad part about when you have people like this. Like, you get all public assassinations, Lee Harvey Oswald, which we may go down that whole rabbit hole of JFK's assassination. There's a massive amount of information out now about it all that would be fun to look through someday if we have some extra time. But, you get that one, you go back to just any political assassination. And it's like the person who assassinated them, their name's in the history book. I try to, look more toward the people who got assassinated, the people who were taken from us before their time was up. And it's like, all right, why were they taken? Did they do something that caused the said person to go get them? Oh, yes, they did. All right, let's go figure out what it is. Can we solve the root problem to figure it out to prevent it? Maybe. Right now, we're at a tipping point.
Exactly.
Ever.
So think about somebody else's like, okay,
That's it.
I want it as well.
Yeah.
Who's my target?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think they're thinking that?
Yeah, they have.
You don't think they're sitting there thinking that? So to me, again, if you can't beat them, mock them, use words. But the
If you can't debate them, guess you gotta kill them.
ultimate, if you can't beat them, take them out. And now you're seeing this taking place, and more people are saying things like this, where, hey, commenting on this happened, that happened, this happened. Yeah, I don't know. I think right now for me, I'm thinking what Cash's job is with the president to lower the temperature. even the other day, the president's being asked, so what do you think about Charlie Kirk shooting? He said, don't you love the building that we're building over here?
Yeah.
Look at the
He's trying to tone down the area there. He's not trying to fuel flames and be like, oh no, Charlie was my best friend. I'm very saddened by his death, because obviously Trump was very saddened by his death. He's not at the next stage of grief that is construction, like Kimmel said. That was disrespectful as shit. Obviously, the man is trying not to show weakness and cry on camera. He's got the peace through strength initiative that he's taken over this administration. And it's like, yeah, crying in front of reporters because you lost a friend is, to some, a sign of weakness. And while I would have forgiven him, because I've shed plenty of tears for Kirk over the past almost month now, and it's still crazy to think that we'll never get another brand new clip from him. There's a few things that Turning Point has recorded of him, but there's only so many, and then they'll be out, and then we'll have everything. I do enjoy some of the AI creations, though, that have been made of Charlie debating in heaven. Some of those are fantastic if you haven't seen them. They're great.
structure that we're building. One can only process that in 2 or 3 different ways. One of them is what?
Tone deaf.
Tone deaf cold.
Completely
Right.
doesn't. Yeah.
Tone deaf cold. I think that's the 37-second one, right? Watch this.
Condolences. How are you holding up?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. It's going to be a beauty.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of that at all. Like,
I'm not
condolences
reading
to your
that much
friend.
into that.
But let me tell you how I process.
He already had the condolences for Charlie when after it happened the day of. And this is a few days after that. It's like he's already been over this. You're just digging back at the wound, and it's like, well, I am on the side of he should have said something a little differently than, oh, but look over at the ballroom where it's coming good on construction. Well, I agree that might not have been the right thing to say. What was the right thing? No, I'm not holding up well at all. Charlie was one of my best friends, and I'm not sure how to go on without him right now. I'm sure after a while we'll have it figured out, but for right now I'm just sad and I'm upset. It's like, well, yeah, that part was obvious. I agree he could have said something, but as far as, trying to distract himself, maybe that was his only way to keep himself from coming to tears. Because, Trump and Charlie knew each other quite well. Trump and Vance and Charlie knew each other well, too. Like, when Vance told the story of him having to go in and tell President Trump that Charlie Kirk was just killed, he's like, that was a very quiet moment after that information was dropped throughout the whole Oval Office, where everybody was like, hold up, we got to pause all other business, because this is far more important than anything else we were talking about.
I process 2 or 3 different ways. One is tone deaf,
Yes.
which is what you said.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
The other one is show the enemy that it's not bothering us. We're
What's
moving
the
on.
third
Deflection.
one? Deflection, distraction. Like, I don't even want to put attention to it because he knows deep down inside. And by the way, you know what President Trump's also probably thinking about? Let me tell you what else he's probably thinking about. And I put myself, 90% is thinking about this. He's sitting there realizing, because let me put it to you this way. You tell me what presidents died that got this level of attention. Actually go back and think about presidents that died. When
Maybe JFK, his was probably the most prolific. Lincoln, maybe.
is the last time a person died in America where you got this type of reception?
MLK.
MLK,
No,
yeah.
the closest one is Kobe, is the recent one.
Kobe.
Kobe, oh yeah. Kobe Bryant, that one was tough to take. And like, I wasn't even that big of a fan basketball-wise. When I saw it happen, I was just like, oh my God. Him and basically his whole family just click, the whole thing gone. Like, And that right there is one of the reasons why Mr. Beast of biggest YouTuber out there, he's like, I don't want to be in helicopters because if they got Kobe, they can get me. And it's like, yeah. Big one there.
Helicopter crash.
Yep.
But tell me in our lifetime, 45, 46, 47 years, in your lifetime, what has gotten this Roberto Clemente plane crash, 2,997 hits or 98 hits, something like that, right? He almost had it. Plane crash. Puerto Rican. I think it was Puerto Rican, if I'm not mistaken.
He's going down to help relief.
Munson. Thurman.
That one I never heard of, so nope, not that one. Try again.
The catcher for the Yankees.
For the Yankees, which 1970 something. You're right, Cessna crash, right? Or whatever. And I even think he was operating.
There's only one that's at this level
Who's
in
that?
our lifetime. That's Princess Di. The world
Yep.
stopped when
Princess Diana would be a big one when she was I will say when she was killed, but when she died, just for sake of ignore conspiracies, but I 100% think she was taken out.
Princess Diana.
Okay.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I'm
like,
with you. You're
yeah,
right.
Okay.
But presidents didn't get these types of attention.
No.
So what does this tell you? President Trump is sitting there saying, wow, this guy's bigger than I even thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Trump, I mean, like I said, Trump knew Charlie. He knew that, when Charlie was founding Turning Point at 18 and him and some of the other people in the cabinet had just met Charlie, they're looking at him like, this kid's going to be something big someday. And they were fucking right. They were more than fucking right. He became big. He became a large voice for conservative people and the entire Republican Party. I don't think Trump would be in office without Charlie today.
Well,
He himself, I guarantee you, by the way, let me put it to you this way. If right now any living president passed away, I'm willing to bet it's not going to be received the way this was.
I agree.
Not even
I agree.
close.
Zero
See, the question-
chance. Zero chance if a current president passed away today. If Biden died tomorrow, people wouldn't be as upset on both sides of the aisle as they were. But also, you wouldn't have a large group of people celebrating his death. There would be a small group, because there always will be. And I even think there's a group of people on the left who would celebrate it because, Biden gave all the weapons to Israel and all the money so they could attack Gaza and bomb Palestinian children in hospitals. And it's like, no, not necessarily. However, yeah, that's a fact. That did happen. However, it wasn't necessarily all his fault. But still, it doesn't mean that I think he deserves to die. I think he deserves to be eliminated. Or anything like that from the political spectrum. I just think he made mistakes and should own up to his errors. Simple as that. Everybody, I think the world would be in a much better place if everybody just started owning up to their errors.
Becomes, if you know it's this level, do you not think he knows how fast this thing can go? You can't. There's certain things in life you cannot stop. You can't stop wildfires. You cannot stop a earthquake in the middle of the ocean that turns into a what?
Tsunami.
Guess what, guys? You got 2 hours. Get the hell away from the ocean. It's coming, right?
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's like you get natural disasters. It's like all of a sudden something like that happens and you're like, oh, gotta look over there. That's how I feel partly Charlie Kirk was. He was not a disaster. He was a natural force that was ready to come in and change up things for the better. But he was ended far too soon.
You've seen his videos. Families at the beach, relaxing. All of a sudden, you see water goes.
Yep.
And guess what? Oh, shit. What sign is that?
Coming back.
Get out, right? Yeah. Their number one job behind the scenes, lower the temperature ASAP. So whether it's Tyler Robinson, his roommate is transgender, we're being told maybe they were dating, maybe this, maybe that. All these stories that are coming out.
I mean, assuming the texts and evidence is true, they were 100% in a relationship together. Tyler's calling his roommate my love. The roommate's just like, I don't think we're ever going to be together again. I think you're going to get arrested, go to jail, and then probably have the death penalty. And the roommate's just like, I'm far more worried about you. And me personally, I'm worried for both of them. Tyler Robinson's, I'm worried about him, not in the sense of like, oh, I fear for things. It's like I'm worried that the people around him will now have to live with the fact that he did these things and then potentially see him put to death. I think he deserves to be put to death for the actions he committed. This is a capital offense, a high level assassination murder, and it wasn't even provoked or anything like that. It was just straight up, I don't like what you say. Die.
And here's the governor giving a little bit of an update. Go for it, Rob. This is from Utah.
Some outlets
Spencer
are
Cox.
reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And yes, I can confirm.
You gotta love that old school media because they have set everything up, that delay. It's like even on Discord and through gaming and easy just communicating with friends platforms, there's no delays like they have on the news. It's a good, someone stops talking. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the other one to start. And it's like, really? How much dead air time is wasted just by waiting for the time to catch up on the other half so they can start talking? It's like, be much closer. You've got the staff to be able to say, they start talking, all right, go. And then you can immediately have him start talking. Like the program, if you're having something go out live, you can have it go out live, but like behind by like a minute or so you can have someone to pause play as soon as it's like, all right, we're getting to go in to skip out some of these little gaps. And you can, mainstream media could be so much better. It is so much that is wasted upon it nowadays.
From that, I know that has been reported, and that the FBI has confirmed that as well. That the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. I can say that he has been very cooperative. This partner has been incredibly cooperative. Had no idea that this was happening, and.
That is what I am inclined to believe via the evidence surrounding it, where the roommate's just like, tell me you didn't. Like, even if the roommate had witnessed him, like, writing on the bullets, that can come across as just a joke. Even if, the opportunity arises, you always want to think the best for the people around you and the people you're with in this case.
Is working with investigators right now.
Okay, so there you have it.
Well, I just want to address one thing about Trump. There's character assassinations, which we see online every single day, every single second. And then there's actual assassinations where you murder somebody in cold blood. There's two people in the world right now, in America, who are very familiar with what's going on here. One is Donald Trump, because let's be real here.
He was shot and had a second, at least, heavily close to a second assassination attempt on his golf course. It's like, yeah, he's very close to knowing and being personally connected to some of these things.
If Trump didn't move to the left and look at that graph, we would have a president or a former president whose face got shot off in the middle of public, just like what happened with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, 100%. If we had lost Trump last year in Butler, Pennsylvania, when the shooter shot at him, if Trump hadn't turned his head and it just nicked his ear, like, man, that would have been an awful thing to witness, because not only would we have lost our candidate as the Republican Party and the conservative movement, MAGA would have exploded. I don't know if it would have been for the better or for the worse if they would have taken it and been like, all right, we're going to war now. You started this fight. It's time we take this fight and finish it. And then all of a sudden you do have an actual civil war breakout between the political parties. And then you have neighbor turning on neighbors at some point. That would have been a bad thing to happen.
So if there's somebody that knows a thing or two of what
And who's the other person?
Charlie has dealt with, the Charlie's family has dealt with, it's Trump. The second person, and I just want to just give so much credit and just a massive outpouring of affection to Charlie's wife, Erica. The speech
Charlie's
she gave,
widow.
If you didn't see this speech, it'll make you tremble. She said the cries of this widow will echo through the world like a battle cry. You tell me you don't want to have a wife like that has your back. It is infectious how much she cares and how much she believes in what Charlie's mission was. It's insane.
I want a wife someday that believes in me as much as Erica Kirk believed in her husband, Charlie. I want someone who cares about me that much someday. It would be awesome. Because with the love and outpour that she had for him and he had for her, he knew it from basically the moment he looked at her that he's like, I love this chick. And then, he hit the point of that interview that they talk about where he's like, I'm not going to hire you. I'm going to date you. And he specifically said, date you, not I want to be friends with you, because Charlie's like, I have enough friends. I need a partner. I want a wife. I need someone who is with me in life through thick and thin, every day to day, day in, day out. And that's what he got with her. He picked a perfect partner. And then he chose to do everything in his life right. He got married young. He didn't put poison in his body, as he called it, or toxins, by no drinking, no smoking. He took care of himself. He ate well. He, didn't choose to drink excessive amounts of caffeine. He chose to go with, simple teas that would help curate his voice and keep him from getting raspy, like I probably will after some of these videos if I talk like I did in the last one. Speaking of which, if you haven't checked out my last one, check out my last one. It's a bit of a sit down. It's like 2.5 hours from Steven Crowder. But yeah, back to this one.
So I just want to take a second for that.
And because we had the whole family sitting there watching this. And the way she looked at the camera and the small little story, she says, go Ducks, all the little things. It was as if, honestly, it seemed like as if it was her doing a broadcast for only one person, and he was watching, and it's him. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like she was talking to us. It felt like he's watching from the heavens, saying, "Babe, I'm talking to you."
And
This guy here. One thing I noticed about him after realizing who he was, the one thing this guy reminds me of, due to his ability to get so red in the face, is that he's this guy right here. When he gets so mad that he becomes redder than the neck. Like, look at how red his neck and skin down there is. He is a freaking tomato, and when his face gets as red, he looks like Bob.
What a moment, and
just a little aside there, a little ADHD moment that I thought of and had seen in other podcasts that he'd been a part of, usually on Pierce Morgan, when Pierce gets a good group together. Maybe it's time to react to one of those again soon.
In that moment, like when it happened, I kept telling Tom too, I go, what is, because it was the next day, I go, what is Erica's next day like? Kids, family.
Her next day probably was super tear-filled and just like, how do I go on? Help me. Probably praying to God. She probably prayed every hour of the day those next couple days. It was like her looking for what to do next, asking why it had to be Charlie, why things had to happen, and knowing that she still has to be strong for both her kids. And the fact that I'm just so happy that she's taken on everything and she's doing it in such a good way. She's such a strong woman. I need a woman like that in my life someday.
Media and her being able to speak, bro, shows God will never give you anything that you can't handle, and she was living proof of it.
We have our USA merch on vtmerch.com, and here's what we're going to be doing. 100% of whatever you buy with USA on it is going to be given to Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk. 100%. Great. Whatever you buy with USA on it, 100. I'm not talking 100% of profits. 100% of gross sales that we make of anything with USA Today on it right here, 100% of this proceeds are going to go to Turning Point USA and Erica, Charlie Kirk's family, and everything they have going on. It is amazing that it took 1/3.
Yeah, so definitely if you're there watching still, go pick up a piece of his USA merch, because definitely the proceeds being donated for a good cause. I'd donate, but being that I broke my leg earlier this year and I've been kind of low on the work hours and been stuck in a chair for most of my time, my funds are a little low. I already got myself a Freedom t-shirt for Charlie. Sadly, though, I didn't buy the white one. I got the red-colored one by accident. I didn't notice that was what was selected when I clicked purchase, so oh well, I guess I'll have a red shirt.
31-year-old young man, father of two, married to Erica, a man who started Turning Point USA, who had a vision, has gotten America to be proud to become Americans again, got people going back to church again. It is amazing that something like this had to happen for America to get to this point. But God willing, this direction we're going to be going to continues, of Americans being proud. You know, obviously for me, I had him as the most important person in America we're going to have for decades to come. That's what I always said. Every interview I ever did, when people ask me about Charlie Kirk, I said, this guy's the most important voice in America today, because everybody has a certain age. He's 31. He's going to be going for many, many years. But God willing, the younger folks are going to continue to pick up the torch and keep inspiring to do what he did, and maybe even take it to different levels around the world. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, watch more. Come see more on my channel. Like his video, like my video. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.